How's everyone doing? I'm doing all right. I was on the bus earlier, right? And I was just getting off, right? And I was walking down the stairs and I caught myself on that little CCTV monitor. You ever caught yourself on that? Just the back of your head. It's like I caught myself in a crime I hadn't committed yet. You know what I mean? Because from the back of the head, that is the most incriminating part of the body. Like from the back of the head, I am capable of anything. From the front, I'm a choir boy. That's tax fraud, and then that's genocide. You know what I mean? I'm a dictator. That's my impression of a dictator, by the way. I did go to drama school. I went in and was like, I'm going to be a star. And then I came out and was like, I'm going to be a barista. I'm going to make coffee. No, because there's a lot of diversity now in the acting world, which is great. Like there's a gay black man playing Doctor Who, which is great. Yeah, that's right. But like calling it like a win for diversity, which I don't really understand. Like a win for diversity would be like a gay black man playing James Bond, right? I mean, that'd be amazing, right? I mean, I wouldn't watch it. I'd be livid. But I'm just saying, I wish them all the best. No, because it's difficult for me as a posh white guy. Because, you know, like, it's hard. No, it is. Because, when I fail, right, I know it's me. Do you know what I mean? Because when other people fail, they've got reasons. Like sexism and racism and structural oppression. I've got none of that. Do you know how difficult that is for me, guys? That's waking up each morning knowing there's nothing stopping me from becoming a successful lawyer. You know what I mean? And yet I'm not. What's that about? Like, I can't work in a small business, right, without someone coming up to me and going, are you the owner? It's like, no, I'm just a white guy on minimum wage. Do you know what I mean? My dad is. But that's, no, I'm a progressive guy. I love period sex. No, I do. No, because a lot of guys don't like it, do they? Like, they don't like their blood. Like, I love it. No, I do. It reminds me of our fallen heroes. You know, I get really patriotic. Like, I was having period sex with this girl. She was like, sorry, I didn't make you come. I was like, hey, you did something far more valuable than that, right? You reminded me of Europe's post-war commitment to peace, right? Thank you for your service. No, I am actually a male feminist. Any other male feminists in the audience? Woo! That's good. That's tepid. But no. Because it's quite difficult, right? Because I was talking to my sister the other day, right? And she opened up to me. She was like, you know, Al, I don't like my tits, right? And I'd never been in that situation before, so I just said, I think you've got great tits. And as soon as I said it, I was like, that sounds like I think I fancy you. But we had sex. No, we didn't. I looked it up. It is illegal. I can't fuck as well because I'm skinny, so I can only make love. Do you know what I mean? Because like Pilates guy, you're probably like, I'm going to put you in a wheelchair. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to limit your quality of life, you bitch. I can't. Because when I do it, I'm like, I'm going to put you in an Uber. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to make sure you get home safely. You lovely woman. You can stay here if you like. No, it's fine. No, because in my head, I'm a daddy, right? But I think when women see me, they kind of see like famished World War II soldier. You know what I mean? Returning from the battlefield. She's going to nurse me back to full health, suck away the PTSD. Ha! So that's my cum face as well. You've got to have a cum face, gentlemen. You have to. If you don't, because you'll get in awkward situations. Like I was having sex with a girl. She was like, "You're going to tell me when you're going to get a cum, right?" I was like, "You shit." That is going to be quite difficult unless you happen to be in possession of a time machine. How do you feel about becoming a single mum? No, no, because then you get really defensive because she's like, "You didn't tell me you were going to come," and then you go, "I did like 20 seconds ago when I went like that." It was so clear. I don't know. I'm a little bit messed up in the head, guys. My dad did leave me when I was young, and then came back from work in the evening. Kind of middle class absent, physically present, emotionally closed off, but financially available. I'll leave you with this, guys. I don't have much relatable material. My most relatable period is when I was 18, right, and I had braces and Roaccutane, right? And does anyone know what like Roaccutane is? Like military grade acne medication, right? When the GP gave it to me, he was like, "This will definitely clear up your face, but it might make you want to kill yourself." And my mom was like, "That is a risk I'm willing to take." So that's good. Thank you very much. I've been out
What's going on? Are we all okay? Are we doing okay? Yeah. Ted, I hate you. You're so fucking good looking, sat there, being all young with your teeth and your nice face and your hair. How old did you say you were? 23. Oh, fuck off, Ted. I would eat my cereal out of those dimples, you know. I am just not on board with it, Ted. Because look, right, and you were a Pilates teacher, yeah? Yeah? Okay, good. Oh. Oh. Anyway, don't worry about it, Ted. That's fine. It's all about me now. So what's been going? Because I'm not from here, right? I'm from the north of England, right? And I'm living the London dream now because I live in someone else's cupboard in East London. Yeah, I'm a soy boy, and it's good because what happened to me is basically I'm from like a rough place. Do you know when people say, "Oh, I grew up rough," I feel like when you grow up rough, you don't know any different, right? Like I just assumed where I grew up, the bins were meant to be on fire. You know what I mean? I always just assumed that the milkman was meant to sell Viagra. That was just what I thought. And then I moved to London, right, where nothing ever happens where I'm from. Nothing ever happens. Like curly fries are still a novelty where I'm from, right? And then I moved to London where everything happens all the time, all at once. 24 hours into being here, I saw 2 nuns in a Pizza Hut. Just stood next to the salad bar being all holy. That was the best day of my entire life. I'd never seen a nun before. I'd never even seen a salad bar. So, you know, it's good. I like, because I live in East London, and East London is like super multicultural, right? It's very different to where I'm from, very multicultural. Every gender, creed, nationality and sexuality have all come together in East London to have one big fight in a kebab shop. It's as close as you can get to social utopia with garlic mayonnaise, Ted. I don't know of a nicer place where you can get on the bus and be told to fuck off in 12 different languages, so... but I feel like everybody, because you're a Pilates teacher, right? I feel like I'm gonna keep on saying it until you get a proper job. I feel like, because we live by trends now, like we live by trends in London. This is the thing I can't get on board with. I get really nervous about things like we live by trends. Everybody looks at the phone and go, "Oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing." And like when I feel good about myself, when I feel happy with my life, right, every so often my phone will just randomly open on the front camera to remind me that from this angle I look like an old woman's fat knee, right? That's where I'm at. It'll open there, it'll be like, "Oh, there you go, Jake, just to remind you, you don't have a neck, right? You're just nipples all the way to nose." That's what it is. That's why I have the moustache, to act as a reference point. Foodies, do you know this one? People who are like, "Oh, I'm a foodie, me. Oh, I love food, couldn't live without food, me." Oh, how quirky about you that is, because personally I can take it or leave it, me, sustenance. Oh. And then when I first moved to London, it was this thing which was food, street food, you know, all those street food where you go outside and you eat food, which was dead cool. But when you think about it for long enough, you realise that street food is basically just eating fish in a car park, isn't it? That's what it is. That is buying a sausage off a man who sleeps in a van. That's what that is. I've never in my entire life been sat in a restaurant and been like, "Do you know what this lasagna needs? Do you know what this lasagna needs? More wind." That's what that needs. And then there's the other ones, which is like alternative healthcare. Do you know this one? Alternative healthcare, where people like lick fucking stones instead of paracetamol or something like that. Personally, I think it's good form not to take medical advice off the kind of person who would wear a toe ring. Because look, no disrespect, right? But I feel like if don't worry about that. I've panicked now because of what's just happened there. But the worst one for me is, do you all know, have you ever met anybody who rock climbs for a hobby? Oh my goodness me, because they're the worst people in the world, aren't they? They're so absolutely unbelievably boring. I met someone at a house party recently who rock climbed for a hobby, and his name was Cliff, right? And the red flag about Cliff was he didn't think that was funny, right? He was talking to me about, do you know those shoes, the toe shoes? Do you know those shoes with the toes in them? Do you know them? Oh, he's telling me about those. Up until that point, I never felt as a person you could feel sympathy for an avalanche, right? But this was me and Cliff, and I feel like as a society we should probably do something about those toe shoes, because I'm not saying it is, but it has to at least be adjacent to paedophilia, doesn't it? Good, you're all wonderful. I'm Jacob Ryan Murphy. Thank you so much.
Chantel. I'm 30 now. Thanks, black don't crack. Except for at the heel. That'll crack. I turned 30 and I decided I wanted to live my best life, live my boldest self. So I decided to wear more colour, grey. I also shaved my head and dyed it blonde. Upon doing this, thought it'd be more edgy, more fun. I've realised there are two types of people with this particular hair. There's me, and then there's 60-year-old black women. Yeah. I've also become very popular with the gays. Yes. I've become lesbian catnip in recent months. Now, my body is, for want of a better word, fucked, because I have 2 children. Yeah. So, honey, if you're buying, I am supplying. Yeah. And my body is mostly fucked because I'm breastfeeding. So I've got 2 children. I've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. My 3-year-old's really big and beautiful. All the fat in her body has been redistributed to her attitude. That's quite fun. And I'm breastfeeding my son. I'm doing what they call long-term breastfeeding. So I'm trying to breastfeed him until he's 2 because I breastfed my daughter until she was 2. And people would get really animated about this stuff. They'd say like, oh my God, you breastfed her until she was 2. Didn't she have teeth? The child would play, yeah. And so it's every man you ever had suck on your tits, Claire. I hope. Imagine that. Only dating toothless men on some kind of fucked up principle. Just lapping at your areolas like they're sipping soup. Just it's disgusting. Disgusting. It's gross. More fun facts about me. I'm from Essex, a really beautiful part of the world, on the border of East London and Essex. It's called Dagenham. Yeah. Local celebrities include the old Ford factory and the BNP. I'm also Dominican. Are there any Dominicans in? Any Dominicans who aren't related to me? And Dominica's not to be confused with the Dominican Republic because they're different places. No hablo español. Okay, but people don't know a lot about Dominica. They're kind of people underestimate Dominicans quite a lot, and you shouldn't, because I want to tell you a story about my nan. So my nan came to London in the 1960s. Tough time for black people. No blacks, no dogs, no Irish. You know, OG racism. Yeah. She was a really lovely lady. She was really elegant, like always impeccably turned out, really polite, like the definition of a lady, right? So she was in the butcher's one day and she was queuing up, and then a white lady came in, cut in front of her. My nan tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, there's a queue." She said, "I don't care, you can wait." Now my nan, being the lady that she was, tapped this woman on the shoulder and whispered in her ear, "Hey, bitch." This woman turned around, aghast. My grandmother proceeded to bite that woman on the tit. Chef's kiss. Absolute chef's kiss. And I love telling that story because people think it's like a kind of a Michelle Obama thing, you know, like when they go low, you go high. No. Pauline Merriford was a motherfucking savage. She said, when they go low, you go lower and you kneecap that bitch. I do love being Dominican as well. I love meeting Dominican men when I was dating, particularly because they remind me a lot of my dad. They're, you know, kind and funny and hard to find. But there is an element of danger being a Dominican woman seeking Dominican man, and that danger, ladies and gentlemen, is incest. Because in the Caribbean community, there's no such thing as a stranger, only a cousin you haven't met yet. Give you a perfect example of this. My parents. Yep, you're right not to laugh because it's not a joke. But it's okay, my parents are second cousins, which I'm told is the best kind of incest. Yeah. Because if you're wondering, you know, if you're ever, you know, at Christmas and you're looking at your cousin thinking, I could. If it's a second, you're safe. Because it's close enough that you kind of get the good genetic traits, like you get good eyesight, and far enough away that you don't, like, develop a hunchback. No? So I was out a couple of years ago, I met this beautiful guy named Daniel. He looked like a kind of a cross between Anthony Jordan and kind of Anthony Jordan? Oh, Anthony Joshua and Michael B. Jordan. Maybe he was Anthony Jordan. No, he was basically gorgeous. Daniel, beautiful guy. And I really liked him. I thought, oh my God, I really like this guy. Like, he's Dominican. I haven't got time to wait for blood test results. What the fuck am I going to do? So I did what any self-respecting woman would do in that situation, guys. I sucked his dick and sent him on his way. You've been so lovely, thanks.
As we bring up to the stage, Marcus Beebe!
Evening, I'm Marcus Beebe. So the more observant amongst you here tonight, you will already be able to tell I'm from one of potentially 40 different countries. Half British, half Malaysian. Alright, no fans of Malaysia internet. Strange one, being Asian, you know, a number of times in my life people have tried to relate to me through my Asianness. A number of times in my life people come up to me and said, "Hey, you Asian?" And I'll say, "Yes." Now, these people like to tell me they went to Asia on their gap year, and I know they do mean well, but heritage and a gap year are two very different things. For example, I don't go up to a homeless guy and say, hey, you homeless? And the homeless guy says, yeah. And I say, well, because I've been to Glastonbury. Yeah, slept in a sleeping bag and everything. So it's my mum that's Malaysian, but my dad, he is white, like really, really, really white. And when I think back to my childhood, when I was 5 and he was 50, good work, everyone. Yeah, my dad used to be in the RAF, the Royal Air Force, and that came in handy when I was a kid. You know, I used to spoon feed me as a child. He'd say, here comes the aeroplane. Then the PTSD would kick in. Flashbacks. Yeah, we always still hold hands in the shopping centre, but we had to stop all that when the pandemic started. Now, this is back in the 90s, you know, we're talking Britpop, New Labour, trust me, incredible time to be 6. And I was a bit of a geezer back then. You know, I used to drink on bongos by the pint. And in my manic sugared up state, I'd break free from my dad's hand, I'd try and run away, and I don't know if you've ever seen a white man chase a little Asian kid before. I mean, I've never seen it, but I have lived it. So my dad would catch me, he always catches me, and I'd scream up things like, you're not my dad. Who are you? Which between us guys were lies, but the people in the shopping centre were witnessing a full-blown abduction. Yeah, no one ever called the police, but I like to think there's a banker working in Canary Wharf, making a lot of money, living a really good life, but every once or twice a month gets triggered and thinks, fuck, was I complicit in child trafficking? Yeah, but it's all good now, you know, I'm all grown up these days, we walk together, I still don't look like father and son, but more like work colleagues with very similar teeth. So education was really important growing up, shocker. But there was no pressure to become a doctor or a lawyer or a member of parliament, especially not a member of parliament. Because think about it, right? Have you ever seen a member of parliament that looks like this? Right, you can't be what you can't see, right? But I'm hoping the United Kingdom can be more progressive like in these other countries. Because I don't know if any of you knew this, but there's actually been 3 Asian presidents of North Korea. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, Marcus, what about the human rights record? It's about the journey, not the destination. So I've been getting into astrology recently, not the Western one, the Eastern one. I think it's a lot more direct. One woo, yes, we're in. I think it's more direct, right? Because you've got Year of the Dragon, Year of the Tiger, Year of the Ox, right? Pretty sexy stuff, right? Sexy stuff. Then you've got pig, rat, snake. So if you're single and looking for a red flag, it's coming right towards you. And me personally, I'm Year of the Monkey, and I think this checks out on every single level, right? Because some people see me, right? They see a fun, cheeky, chappy sort of guy, and other people see me and they're racist. Yeah, I'm probably the most racist person I know, actually. Yeah, I heard a gasp there. No, I love black people, I love white people, I love brown people, but if I ever see a guy that looks like me enter the friendship group, I just think, who the fuck is this guy? You know, I bring him to one side and say, mate, come here. The friendship group is full. Go home. Yeah, my white liberal friends, they tell me, Marcus, stop being so aggressive. And I tell them to stop diversifying their portfolio. I'll be the first to admit it. The set so far, been pretty race heavy. Yeah. Comedian said to me recently, he said, you're so lucky that you can do all this race stuff, because I don't get to do all that. And I said, well, would you want to? Because you're a white guy. I don't think talking about being an Asian is going to help you at all. You know, audiences can't always smell the bullshit, but they can definitely see it. Yeah, been under a bit of pressure recently. I've turned 30, and I'm the first person in 4 generations not to have killed someone. And that is a lot to live up to. It's true. Well, my great-granddad was World War I. My granddad, World War II. My dad has a vibe. You've been brilliant. You've got a great show ahead. Thank you very much.